from the Minotaur to the Leviathan, from Count Dracula to Frankenstein's creature. All of these tales address our fear of the unknown, of the possibility that something other than ourselves, something inhuman, something post-human, something supernatural, might be more powerful than us, might be controlling the very world we live in. And yet, by making that fear palpable, by pulling it into the realm of fiction, of fantasy, of untruth, we find a way to control it, to take charge of it, to make the fright, the goosebumps, the cold sweat, the racing pulse pleasurable, a roller coaster that we know will eventually come to a stop so that we can get off. When better than Halloween, the time of year that imaginary ghosts and evil spirits roam free, to dust the cobwebs off some of our very own scary stories. Please help me welcome our very first speaker, John Parpala, DTM. His speech is called Drac is Back. This is a political advertisement, and Count Dracula approves this message. There is nothing more spooky than this election season. Well, Drac is back as your third-party candidate for president. He believes walls are divisive, so he's already built a giant moat and filled it with telepathic laser sharks. Good actors will be allowed in on bridges. Bad actors, such as Ryan Reynolds, I might question you on that one, Drac, will be banned. Drac says we must protect our northern border. Winter is coming. Please help me welcome Drac.
I have a dispute for the moderator. A dispute for the moderator. Ryan Reynolds is not a bad actor. Ryan Reynolds is a bad actor. Yes, spooky. Nothing could be more spooky than this election. I was lying in my coffin the other day and I thought to myself, hey, this could be a good time to run for the presidency of the United States. Yes, a good time. You see, I've sucked blood for 1,000 years. I suck blood to this day, but I still do not suck as much as Congress does. Thank you, Madam MC, fellow Toastmasters, and guests and ghouls. I can see that some of you have a very negative opinion of me. Very negative. But this is all the fake news. This is all the fake news. You see, I'm reformed. I'm redeemed. I'm revamped. I'm a really great guy. And I'm very famous. You may see me in the upcoming movie. What is it called? Pandemic Wolverine. Look at that guy, Pandemic Wolverine. He's a superstar. Of course, I've also appeared many times on the show Sesame Street. Ironically, not as the Count. Yes, but as the back end of Snuffleupagus. The Count was a union guy. I'm the second most famous rear end in the world. The second most, yes. And of course, I produced the movie Twilight. I'm very sorry about the Twilight. Just say no to Twilight. But enough about me. Let's talk about the other guys. What sort of derogatory nicknames do they have? Of course, we have Sleepy Joe Biden. And who do we have? Agent Orange Trump, yes. I came up with that name myself. I'm a really intelligent Drac. Agent Orange. These guys are going to suck you dry. Their healthcare plans will cost you trillions and trillions of dollars. On my plan, the Dracky plan. Yes, the Dracky plan. What a cute name. You'll live forever and you'll never get sick. But there are some drawbacks. There are some drawbacks. No more mirror selfies. No more mirror selfies. You will no longer be able to eat your Italians. Excuse me, your Italian food. your Italian food. And of course, you may develop an overriding aversion and disdain for the Clintons, not because of Hillary, not because they're Democrats, but because they're a bunch of werewolves. Let's hear from former President Bill Clinton. I built a bridge. I built a bridge to the 21st century. I built a bridge for werewolves. How did y'all not know I was a werewolf? How'd y'all not know? I was such a dog. Oh! Thank you, former President Clinton. That impression made about as much sense as your somewhat recent anxiety defense. Anxiety defense. But I can see that some of you are very confused. Most of you are going to vote for me. You're very intelligent. But some of you are very confused. For those that are confused, look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. That accomplished absolutely nothing. But a few of you looked very cute, had your head tilted like this. Looked like the cute chihuahuas. So you're very entertaining, I very much appreciate it. But we're getting to the end of my time, so here's the jingle. Get ready, you can scream at your screen, it's scary. Get ready, do. Here we go. If you want the candidate who does not suck, vote for the other schmucks. If you want the candidate who's got your back, go ahead and vote. Vote for Drac. I'm Drac and I approve this message.
Thank you very much, Dracula. No, keep yourself unmuted because we have a few questions. We want to know who you are and what club you are with, Mr. John Parpala.
My name is Drac, but John Parpala is from the club Toastmaster Communicators.
Woohoo! There you go. And what's been the inspiration for your Halloween tale this evening?
I grew up with the Cookie Monster, and the count was very entertaining. He made me count my sheep.
Well, I could see everyone laughing. They were all engaged. Thank you for sharing your tale with us this evening. It was a great way to start off tonight's Halloween spooky tales. So thank you.
Get spooky, everybody.
And I forgot to explain at the top of the meeting, there is a chat box at the bottom. If you click chat, it'll bring up your chat screen. If you would like to send John a few comments and just let him know how he did this evening, what you liked, have at it. You can message him directly in the chat box. Thank you. Right, next up, we have our spooky speaker number 2, DTM Jean Cassidy. Shivers in New England. Shivers in the New England sunlight. Shivers in the New England sunlight. Distinguished Toastmaster Jean Cassidy.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. It all started with a dare. Yesterday, I met Jimmy, a sailor who claimed to be related to the station master at Seguin Island Lighthouse. It's the tallest lighthouse in Maine. Well, not just a station keeper, the keeper. The one with the gruesome legend. Jimmy asked me if I knew anything about its history, and he challenged me to spend a night on the island to learn the truth after 170 years. I'm always up for a challenge, and so as we loaded the boat, I recounted the tale as I remembered it. Lighthouses are known for their isolation, their solitude, and their monotony. Legend has it that in the mid-1800s, James Marston brought his new wife, Sarah, to Seguin Island, where boredom set in pretty quickly. Trying to help her, James had a piano and sheet music brought to the island. For some reason, only a single music piece was in those supplies, and Sarah played the same tune incessantly for months. No one really knows what actually happened that tragic night. Was it the mournful, unnerving piano tune? The relentless waves crashing on the shore, the continuous white light rotating in the distance, or the persistent sound of the foghorn? Not sure, but James finally snapped. As if in a trance, or maybe possessed, he took an axe to the piano and hit it and hit it and hit it again and again until there was nothing but splinters. Still in his trance, he turned his rage on Sarah, and he wielded that axe again and again and again. After that, he may have come out of it because he seemed remorseful, and so he chose to end his life at the end of a rope in the lighthouse's tower. Uh-oh, now here I was in a small motorboat speeding toward a secluded, potentially haunted island with a person claiming to be related to an axe murderer. Well, in hindsight, this probably wasn't one of my better ideas. As we approached the island, the fog rolled in, triggering the foghorn. The white beam from the lighthouse constantly rotated 360 degrees as a warning to sailors. The seas began to get much rougher, and suddenly I felt myself being swept off the deck. And then everything went black. The next things that I remembered seemed to come in flashes as I drifted in and out of consciousness. I was cold, I was wet, I was being dragged to shore. Then I was laying on the beach next to a campfire, wrapped in a blanket. I could see the white rotating light in the tower. I heard some voices. I heard the sound of the piano tune, and then the foghorn. Two voices were whispering. First, a woman's voice. "You should not have brought her here." And then a man's. "She needs to know it wasn't my fault." Jimmy? Then blackness until dawn. Different voices were coming closer. "There she is." The summer caretakers ran down the beach toward me. "Are you all right?" they asked. "We saw you from the tower." They picked me up from the wet sand. No signs of a campfire or a blanket. I think I'm okay, is what I said, but what about Jimmy and the boat? They looked at each other and then back at me, confused. The only boat that was on the beach was on the other side of the island, a derelict that hadn't been used for years. No other people or footprints around for miles. "Well," I said, "at least the sun is out, that eerie piano music stopped, and the foghorn and the light are now finally off." They looked at me again, this time with really wide eyes. One said, "The lighthouse was deactivated 2 years ago. There was damage due to the underwater cable that powered the island, and so neither the light nor the foghorn have worked since." My throat started getting really tight as I tried to swallow. Oh my gosh, no Jimmy, no campfire, no blanket, no rotating light, no eerie music or working foghorn. It was then that I felt the shivers in the New England sunshine. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Please share with us, Jean Cassidy, what Toastmaster Club are you a member of?
I am a member of 3030 Communicators in Irvine, as well as in the Marketplace Toastmasters at the Marketplace.
Wonderful. And how has Toastmasters impacted your life?
Well, it gives me a place to experiment, try new fun things, and meet new wonderful people.
Awesome. And what was the inspiration for your story this evening? How did you come up with that?
It was the truth.
It's I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay. Our next speaker this evening, our next storyteller, I should say, this evening is distinguished Toastmaster Tom Karras. I thought it was my time to die. I thought it was my time to die. Distinguished Toastmaster Tom Karras. You are muted, Mr. Karras.
How about now?
You're good.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I thought it was my time to die. I take you back 57 years to Long Island, New York. I was a high school senior, and I'd taken on a part-time job at a cemetery. Now I know, why would you work in a cemetery? Well, it paid $1.50 an hour, and the other jobs paid $1.25, so I wanted to make some money. It was my first day on the job, and I was a gopher. Clean the old flowers out, cut some grass, and help the grave diggers put in new graves. Well, at the end of my shift, they were going to put in a new grave at the far end of the cemetery. So I went up with the workers, and the backhoe dug the grave. And then my job was to put a ladder down, climb into the grave, and dig out the remaining dirt and square it away. So I happily went down, started to do my job, and then I heard a couple of the workers laughing, and I whipped around and they pulled the ladder up. And here I am, 10 feet down in a grave. And I yelled, "Hey, hey!" And they laughed. And then I heard the backhoe pull away. And now I am in the 10-foot hole deep grave by myself, and it's getting dark. And it's getting darker. And now it's pitch black. And it's cold. It's October. It's around Halloween. All I have on is a sweatshirt and a pair of jeans. And so pretty soon it dawns on me that this must be a big prank. I'm the new guy on the job. This is the initiation. So I yell, nothing. Dead silence, nothing out there, pitch black. Now it's about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and it dawns on me, I have to spend the night in the grave. So I curl up in the corner, trying to stay warm, and I finally doze off. But then in the middle of the night, I hear, Tom. I wake up, I said, that's my voice, Tom. I said, yes, that's me. Take my hand. And I look around, I look at the edge, and I see an arm extend down into the grave with a big hand. And so I said, finally, someone's going to save me. I run and jump as high as I can, and the hand grabs me and pulls me right out of the grave, and I flop on the side of the grave. Well, I immediately jumped up to thank that person who saved my life, but there was no one there. I looked and look, it's pitch black. I don't see anybody. But then I hear that voice again, and it's coming from inside the grave now. And I look down in the pitch black, and it says, this is my grave. Madam Toastmaster.
Wonderful job. And what club do you belong to, Mr. Tom Karras?
Saddleback Sunrise Speakers.
Okay. And what was your inspiration for
None of your business.
I love my East Coast friends. And how has Toastmasters impacted your life, Mr. Karras?
I've met some wonderful, wonderful people. I've belonged to maybe 10 to 15 different clubs around the world. Saddleback Sunrise Speakers, by far the #1 club in the universe. In the universe.
He's not partial. Thank you so much for sharing your tale with us this evening, Mr. Karras. Next up, we have a special guest non-Toastmaster, Mr. Sean Murphy, with his storytelling extravaganza, Hauntacular Houses Across the World. Please help me welcome Sean Murphy with Hauntacular Houses Across the World.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, right? I'm new at this. I'm kidding. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, everybody. So, Hauntacular Houses Across the World. I have lived in another country. I was lucky enough as a young man to join the Navy and experience the rest of the world, where I found myself landed in Tokyo. I found new friends and new experiences, and most of all, I found a place to live. Well, me and 3 other friends who were young and didn't have a lot of money, and we found the cheapest place that we could find. It happened to be quite off the beaten path and a little bit more rural area. It was across from a fishing pier and right below a shrine on a shadowy hill. It met our budget and it had 4 bedrooms for 4 sailors. And we thought, great, we have an awesome party pad. The first thing that should have given us a clue was that one side of the house seemed to be a little darker than the other in the middle of the day, but no matter, it was the right price for the 4 of us. We moved in and we instantly figured out exactly why there was a problem and nobody wanted the house. Seemingly out of nowhere, doors would just make their way open while all 4 of us were in the kitchen. Lights would just want to turn out and turn back on after a few moments. We even started seeing things kind of just misplace themselves around the house. And we said, wow, we must have a 5th roommate. This is great. We'll call him Yokai. He'll be our friend. And so we had a 5th roommate. It was a great way to explain things like one of our housemates falling in his chair broken. So, you know, it was a great 2-year adventure. We had a great laughs. We spent good times. Although we never had a chance to talk to our 5th roommate, it was good to have him around, constantly reminding us he was there with lights out and doors open. You know, me and my friends went our separate ways, and I spent many years, you know, living in townhomes and apartments back here in California. And then just a little bit more than a year ago, I was able to find a great home, another 4-bedroom home, except this time it was here in Orange County, California. And there wasn't any spooky temples or shrines or cemeteries. There was a hill. And I found this home. It was a great deal. And we didn't know why until we were told while looking at the home that unfortunately the homeowner had passed a few months prior in the home. And so it wasn't really marketable. So what we did was we decided that it was a great price. We loved the home and we'll take it. I wasn't bothered in the least bit. That was until about a few months ago when one night, very late at night, I found myself at my computer in my office with the lights off and just the dim glow of my monitor coming back upon my face. I heard a noise, a shaking of a door. And I turned and I looked, and there was my closet door with a little rattle and a little movement, slowly rattling and shaking its way open, rattling and shaking its way open. And I thought, oh, my God, we do have a house guest. He's still here. And as it shook a little bit more and a little bit more and creaked a little bit more open, I went, oh no, the door's going to fling open and it's going to be the ghost of house guest past. And in that moment, there was silence. And then I heard meow like that. And it was my cat there at the bottom. And his big glowing eyes looking at me in an expression of gleeful joy that he had just scared me to death. So the only spooky haunt I luckily have in this house is my house panther. All right. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Yay, thank you. All right, I was supposed to ask you what the benefits of being, you think of being a Toastmaster are, but I want to know, why aren't you a Toastmaster? It's a fabulous story.
I know I have a lot of pressure to join, and trust me, you have a great recruiter here. You have to convince her to join one of my Dungeons and Dragons games during the week. And I have made the promise, if she joins one of my Dungeons and Dragons groups, I will join a Toastmasters club.
Ah,
Yeah,
there you go, Julie Murphy. Well, that was an excellent story this evening. Thank you for sharing and being part of the terrifying tales. We appreciated it. Okay, let's see. Next up, our final spooky storytelling presenter of the evening, distinguished Toastmaster Gregory Reed with Hello, Lovebug. Hello, Lovebug, distinguished Toastmaster Gregory Reed.
If you are like me, you love your morning routine. I go and walk to the post office. I check my mail. Then I walk to the YMCA and work out in the fitness center. And then once I'm exhausted, I walk home. With my routine, everything's in harmony. Everything syncs. Everything feels right for mind, body, and soul. And I was a happy camper. Yes, you heard the word was. It was a Friday the 13th. And my routine got upset, topsy-turvy. I was checking out my mail, and then I felt something like a claw grabbing my arm. I look up. There's a tall woman in a black dress. She had black feathers woven into her hair, and her penetrating stare just burrowed into my skull. And she says, "Hello, my name is Raven. I notice your white cane. Are you blind?" "Yes, I'm blind. I've been blind since childhood. I have tunnel vision. I don't have any peripheral vision at all." "Oh dear. Is it all right if I pray for you?" "Sure, go ahead and pray for me." She put her hands over my eyes and she said, "Oh, Dark Lord, please release Gregory and make it so he can see the light. In your name, I pray." "Excuse me, Raven, but did you pray to the Dark Lord?" "That's not right. What kind of church do you belong to?" "I belong to the covenant with creatures great and small." "Raven, are you a veterinarian?" No, nothing like that. Not a veterinarian." "Oh, would you like to come and visit me at my church?" "No, I think that's a little more than I bargained for. I have to go now." can I take you somewhere? Can I give you a ride to where you're gonna go? No, thanks. I think I'm just fine. I'm out. I need to get the exercise. Bye-bye. And then I thought I heard something. She says, what a cute little love bug are you? Okay. Nah, I couldn't hear that. So I'm proceeding, going off to the Y to work out. I'm getting my white cane throwing back and forth and back and forth. Someone who would see me from the other side of the street would think that maybe I looked like the dude at the beach with the metal detector.
No.
And I'm mushing on, and I get to the Y. I do my stretching. I get on the elliptical machine and do my cardio for a half hour. And then I get on the weight machines and I'm pumping iron. And all of a sudden, I could not see it. I did not see it coming. Two hands come from behind. Guess who? Hello, love bug. It's time for us to be together. Raven, what are you doing here? I want to spend some time with you. Why? Why do you want to spend some time with me? I think we need to get together and spend special time together. No, 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 Raven. There's you, and then there's me. There's no we together. No, 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 no. You there, me there, not together. No, no, no. And she said the most interesting thing. You don't know me now, but very soon you will. No, I don't want to know anything about you. No, no, no. So I go running out, go downstairs, and I run into my friend Steve, the bodybuilder. I'm telling him about this wackadoodle lady in a black dress. And he said, oh, I saw her. She was looking for her boyfriend, Gregory. I told her that you were upstairs. That person gives me the creeps. She's so freaking weird. She gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't want that woman in my life. So I go running out of the gym and I decide if she's gonna follow me to the Y, I don't want her following me home. So I go through the regional park and I take the long way home. And fortunately, I have peace, I have harmony, and no stress at home. And I'm thinking maybe she knows my routine. And I'm gonna vary my routine. The next day, I don't go to the Y. I don't go to the post office. The phone rings and it's Steve. He says, she's here, she's looking for her girlfriend. She joined the Y. Oh no, no, that's my place of sanctuary. Well, Steve, I'm not coming in today. So instead, I walk to the grocery store and I'm looking at the beautiful red bell peppers. And all of a sudden, I didn't see it coming, but there's two hands that go around and goes around my eyes and says, guess who? It's me, my little love bug. Are you freaking crazy? I have enough of this. Don't you have any idea what you're doing to me? I think we should be together forever more. No, together. I'm done. And I go hightailing right out of there. I walk across the street, go past the post office, walk down to the gym. And I walk into Steve. I said, Steve, that woman is chasing me all over town. She wants to be together with me. And she calls me my little love bug. I just can't hear that anymore. Steve says, she just wants to be your girlfriend. No, she wants to control me and take me over. I can't have it. And then a staff member comes in and says, your girlfriend's out front. She's looking for you. And Steve says, let me take you home. So we walk into the parking lot. She says, Gregory, I have to talk to you. Raven, no, they're talking, no more talking. I'm done. We get into the truck. Steve backs up. Raven goes in front of the truck and says, I got to talk to Gregory. Steve, let her say her 2 cents. She goes over to the window. Say, Gregory, we need to be together evermore. Sorry, Raven, not interested. I'm sorry, I don't feel I did anything to attract you to me. There's got to be someone else you can have, be with you, go to your church. And we're going, goodbye, please step aside. And she said no. And she's holding onto the mirror and she's running with the truck. She finally has to let go. A black van turned a corner right in front of her and bang! Steve, stop on your brakes. We get out, we look at the van. The driver dazed and says, she just walked right in front of me. We looked, the windshield had cracked. The front grille is bent. The bumper is bent. But there's no body. And the driver said, she just went poof. The only thing was black feathers were scattered on the pavement. That night, it was a very hot night. I was tossing and turning, thinking of all the terrible things that have happened the last couple of days, thinking about Raven, what in the heck happened to her? It was so hot, I decided I'd open up the slider. And then I noticed, there was a tall raven on the house next door. Raven, is that you? Yes, my little love bug. We are going to be together forevermore. I have had enough. I go grab a flashlight, open the screen door, go up to my hose, turn it on full throttle. Raven, you got to leave. I do not want to be with you forevermore. I want to see you nevermore. Madam Toastmaster, show host.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reed. Can you please share with us what club you are a member of?
Saddleback Sunrise Speakers, you probably heard about our reputation about being the best club in the universe from Tom Garris.
Yes, absolutely. I think John Barry's giving you a thumbs up as well. And what was your inspiration for creating this story this evening?
Well, 9 years ago, this app actually happened. I had a weird stalker lady that met me at the post office, and not in the story, but I have been known to be very relational and humorous. And I think it was love at first sight when she spotted me. And she did join the Y. She did do the thing with the hand. She did accost me not only at the grocery store, but at the pharmacy and other places in town. I felt that she had a GPS, which is a Gregory positioning satellite following me all over the globe. And we did have a dramatic scene at the parking lot in front of the Y, and she caused so much turbulence at the YMCA, she was kicked out. And so beyond belief, truth sometimes out trumps bitching.
Absolutely. Thank you for being part of the Terrifying Tales this evening. And I would just like to share, we had some other people actually request to tell stories. Remember, we have Tall Tales coming up this spring. So if you're a storyteller and you just love crafting stories that kind of have that twist to it, Tall Tales is a great opportunity to take advantage of that skill set. And it's an absolutely fun contest to participate in. So look out for that coming this spring. And I would like to point out, Gordon Kaiser wrote, and I thought this was so true of this evening. He said, "It's so entertaining. I'm laying on the sofa, listening and relishing the descriptive use of language. It's like bedtime stories. My lights are out, just listening to the audio, no visuals, creativity, yes." And absolutely, if we can unmute everyone, I would love for everyone to give the storytellers a big, loud round of applause, because I think you all did fabulous.
You guys rock! Woohoo! Awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was totally enjoyable. I wish this just could go on for another hour, really.
Unfortunately, well, we'll have to do it again if everyone enjoyed it. And thank you for everyone participating. Thank you for asking me to be your hot seat hostess this evening. And it was truly an honor to be able to oversee this event. And please help me welcome the organizer, Mr. Gregory Reed, who was the brain behind bringing this event to life this evening. So I am now going to return control of the meeting to Mr. Gregory Reed. Thank you.
Good job, Sherry.
Let's give a hand to Sherry Tomasula.
Woo!
Sherry, you did a great job. You made everybody feel connected at home, and you were in control, and you did a great job of setting the tone at the beginning with your monologue. And each of our speakers, John as Count Dracula, my goodness, there's a few of us that think that you're the best option as far as president this year. So we may win California.
Can I change my vote now?
Yes, you can. And make sure they don't set fire to the little bin that you put the ballots in.
Oh, yeah, right.
Gene Cassidy, thank you so much for giving us your story about shivers in the New England sunlight. Your story, I still hear that eerie piano music in my brain and that foghorn that just won't keep. Yes. It was kind of eerie to me. Tom Karras, My goodness. You had such a good grip when I pulled you up out of that hole.
Strong grip.
And it was a dirty trick. You pushed me back into the hole. And you said, bye-bye. So thanks so much, Tom. That was riveting. And that would be a great tall tale for the upcoming contest. Sean Murphy, my goodness, you have so many skills as a storyteller. I hope that it doesn't become horse trading with Julie to get you to be a Toastmaster and a member at one of our meetings. You would find that a lot of us are warm, engaging, and any meeting would be better with you in it. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Julie Murphy, the Founders District Public Relations Manager. She did an incredible job setting up the registration platform, getting the word out to all the people, not only just in the Toastmasters sphere, but to the general public on next door and also in the newspapers. So thank you so much, Julie. Also a shout out for another one of our leaders, Fiona Smith, who is Area Director of G5. She helped with social networking and also to keep Julie and I on track to make sure that we had our oars in the water for this evening. Along with our show hosts, our storytellers, I like to thank the club that agreed to sponsor this at the very beginning in the middle in July when I thought of this idea. And that's Saddleback Sunrise Speakers. We work together as a team to help each other out in order to get more of their potential in public speaking and leadership. I put a link to the email address to hear about our Zoom meetings, which are Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. We'd like to have you join us. We have a lot of wacky and crazy, fun-loving people in our club, and we care about each other, and we'd like to have you come visit us on a Wednesday morning. I also like to thank, and lastly, the trio from Founders District. Our District Director, Christine Brady.
Hey.
Our Program Quality Director, David Hosmer. And our Club Growth Director, Ken Spears. You work together as a team and you are very supportive as far as helping me use the vision of this project and make sure that I had the resources and the team had the resources in order to put this all together. It was so much fun. And my mother, who is 91, she had been part of my team too. I'd be talking to her and she says, Gregory, you know, this is like a pilot. If the audience is there, they're going to renew you for next year. So my challenge for each and every one of you, if you are a storyteller, work and put your stories together. You got the tall tale contest coming up. You can use those type of stories. If there's a little scary element, put it together. And if you want to participate, come July, we're going to start rolling it out slowly. And Halloween Terrifying Tales show 2021 will be great. But it'll be great if you want to be part of our experience. I wish you a safe and sane weekend. Keep the faith and have a happy Halloween. Good night.
Good job, Gregory.
Thank you, Gregory.
Good job, Gregory.
Great job, everyone.
Thanks, Gregory. Happy Halloween, everyone.